quick little guide video. This video is going to be in 4 parts, or maybe 3, depending on how I want to do it. The first part is going to be on my spec and glyphs for 5.4. The next part will then be on gems and enchanting and their preferences on stats and things like that. Then my rotation, then my macros, but I'll probably switch those around, so my macros will come before my rotation, because you'll need to know my macros before you can actually do my rotation. So I was going to quickly fly up here to the top of the spire, just so I'm out of everyone's way, and I'll show you my spec. So the spec I'm running with at the moment is double time, because I just like the extra charge, but I have been running with Juggernaut. They also work quite well together, but well, not together obviously, but you could choose either, so it doesn't really matter, whatever your preference is. You can have 12 seconds in charge instead of 20, or 2 charges in that 20 seconds. So basically you get around about 1 every 10, but it's not really like that, because you only get rage for 1 of them. And onto the level 30 talents, I just choose second wind, just because it's a nice flat heal that you have when you dip below 35%. It heals you for 3% until you go above 35%, of course. And you can do it you can use it quite well with pillaring. I'm using Staggering Shout at the moment, but this changes upon comp, because a lot of the time I know to Staggering Shout route into a Bladestorm when I'm going to burst, or when I want to peel for a healer or a teammate, for example. I have 2 specs really that I play at the moment, which is depending on my team or depending on what I feel like playing. At the moment, my primary spec is this spec you see here, and my secondary spec only has 2 changes, which I'll go over in a moment. But with my primary spec, I use Bladestorm because the damage is insane at the moment. But if you're going to be using Bladestorm, you need to make sure you are also using Bloodbath, because of the bleed damage on warriors at the moment is where most of the damage comes from. So if you have Bloodbath and Bladestorm, you're going to do a lot of damage very quickly. Also, the reason why I have safeguard over mass spell reflectors, because they nerfed intervene, so the fact that it will not remove a root, and that removed root can actually save your life against mages quite a lot of time, because if they root you and then they try and shatter you, you can just safeguard to your healer or other DPS, excuse me, and then you will be able to actually get out of that root and stop that shatter from doing lots of damage to you. Now moving on to glyphs. The main glyphs I use at the moment, there's one that changes, and then I'll go back to my other spec with my talents that I just forgot about completely. But I use the glyph of Bull Rush. It generates an extra 15 rage for when you charge, which is very helpful. Also the glyph of Death from Above, which basically just makes you have a 30-second cooldown on your heroic leap, which is very, very handy over 45 seconds. And I have Rude Awakening. A successful interrupt of a spell with pummel increases the damage by 6% for 20 seconds. This just helps in all damage in general. The other one I sometimes put on is where, if I'm say running with a healer, for example, I'll put on the Glyph of Mortal Strike. When you Mortal Strike, the effects on this target, the healing effects on you are increased by 10%. So it really depends on what comp I'm actually running with, no matter what spec I will go with. The reason why you don't go with Gag Order, and you haven't for a couple of patches, is because they nerfed it so it doesn't actually apply to players. As you can see there, it does not apply to players, so there's actually no point in using it for PvP situations anyway. And you can, if you use Heroic Strike and Cleave. I used to use this, but I don't really anymore, so because they buffed, well, they sort of nerfed this glyph but buffed Hamstring, because they gave it an extra 10% on its slowed down a fair bit. It now doesn't stack with the Hungering Strikes, which it used to. So that's the only reason why. And also I don't really use Heroic Strike or Cleave anymore, just because of the fact that they're not really viable to use your rage on, because Slam will hit more, and also your overpowers will hit more, and you need to keep bleeds up on all the targets as well. But also, moving back onto my secondary spec, if I was going to go, say, a control spec, I would probably... Well, there's sort of a super control spec, and then there's my control spec, because I don't like using Stormbolt. It's good, but I prefer to use Avatar, because then you can also break that route again. And Shockwave, and I sometimes choose Disrupting Shout or staggering, or sometimes it's staggering depending on the comp or depending on what I feel like playing with. So I kind of like the extra damage with Avatar as well, but it works well with Shockwave because you've got that instant burst kind of damage with that sort of control of the Shockwave, and then not being able to actually fight you with that. So that was my talents and glyphs, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you did, please a like and that favourite button. It helps me out a lot. And if you want to leave any questions in the comments you may have, or any of the videos you want me to make on WoW or Minecraft, etc., let me know in the comment section below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.